do us a quick favor, guys. Hit the follow, subscribe button. Share this with someone who would benefit from it. And help us grow, as the more we grow, the better the episodes we'll get. Thanks, guys, for helping us. And let's get into the episode.
Welcome back to this episode of the SCULPTED podcast. We're back with another episode. What are we getting into today, Nick?
So what we are going to be talking about today is going through what Liam and myself are working on at the minute, talking about our plans for that, giving you some updates on that as well. And then I actually want to kick it off initially with talking about what we've been doing this past week and going in a bit more about this coming week and what we want to do with that. So Liam, tell me a little bit about your week, your last week, let's say.
So last week for me, I think I may have mentioned it in the last episode, was a lot of recovery. So I did take a knock on last weekend in the game. So I've just been recovering pretty much the entire week. Loads of ice bath, loads of just cryotherapy chamber I went in, theta pods, like everything, every sort of acupuncture, every sort of recovery technique you could think of, I was doing, because my knee had a massive swelling in. We've made it include a picture if I have one. But yeah, that was from last Saturday. So it's gone down a bit. Obviously played on Saturday, which it's Monday we're recording today. So played against Perth Glory. Unfortunately, we ended up drawing the game. We should have won it 2-1, but they scored in the final minutes. So it was a bit disheartening. But yeah, Nick and I have been working hard all week on the business side, trying to start up LivFree Diaries, which is going to be our next kind of business venture that we're focusing heavily on. And it's something we're interested for you guys to look at, because at the end of the day, it's something we wish we knew when we were younger, growing up in our 12, 13, 14 years of age, but also things that we want to be able to know when we're older as well. Things like how to buy our first house and things like that. But we'll go into that in a minute. So I have come on now as co-host with Nick. Obviously, we have Val as well. I'm co-hosting now with the SCULPTED podcast, helping out. Hopefully, got some bangers on the way. Me and Nick have got some very special business ventures on the way as well. Haven't we, Nick? LivFree Diaries coming soon. So this week for me is literally going to be just getting a hard training week in. I went training this morning, did feel my knee slightly, so it's going to be tapered towards how I'm feeling in my trainings, but I do want to get a good training week in to prepare me for Saturday and make sure I'm feeling sharp. We do have a good full squad that we've prepared for Saturday. So in terms of my training, that's going to be a good week ahead for me. We're also going to be focusing on filming our first week of content for LivFree Diaries, which should be up the following week. We're going to have some YouTube videos out, some Reels out, some TikTok videos out. I'm excited to see the outcome that we produce across all platforms. Just mark that because it was a beep. I'm excited to see the outcomes that we produce across all platforms for all of our content, because there's going to be some special content coming, especially when you see it in a few months' time compared to what it is now, and then a year's time compared to what it is now. You're going to be surprised at the amount of work we've been able to produce and the business we've been able to create off the back of it. LivFree Diaries is going to be something where we document what we're doing with our company, LivFree, the educational platform. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see what happens there, Nick.
Yes, so LivFree, what an exciting one, guys. Now, what LivFree is, as Liam kind of hinted there, educational online platform. Now, we're not going to talk about what it means too much yet, because we're still in the very early stages of this startup. Now, as you've probably been, if you're a returning listener, you've been learning more and more about the SCULPTED app as I drop hints here and there. But additionally, as you know, we become businessmen, as we continue to become better, we want to get into, more and more businesses. So LivFree stands for, at its core, educating people with the things that they want educated with during school. Now, as Liam said, we're hoping to get as much progress as possible and document that progress, because it's something that we think that people can really be a part of. And that's because education is important, but the education that most of us actually, get is very, very focused on curriculums, very focused on skills that people need for specific jobs, but it's also very general. Now, Liam, what age did you actually finish school, or in person at least?
So in school, I finished around I finished at 15. Finished school at 15. Went off to Cardiff, did like a few months there of college, didn't finish any course there. And then at Bournemouth, I did a personal training degree for like certification. But again, that's not school, that's just the next thing. So yeah, school, I finished at the age of 15. What about you?
Bro, I think it's the exact same, to be fair. So that would have been year 9, right?
It was year 11 in the UK, but it's year 10 in Australia.
Okay. Oh, wait, yeah, no, I was still at school. Yeah, okay. That's the exact same as me. Yeah. So around 15, 16. And
Yeah.
I continued to do online school, but also that was during COVID for us. So it was kind of like, well, online school isn't that great. So I did finish all the way to year 12 for Australia. I did complete my HSC, which is the New South Wales GCSE equivalent. And I didn't do horribly, to be fair, but I also didn't try too much because it was always going to be just finish school and then I'll be done. But what's one thing that you wish that you learnt at school, Liam?
I think one thing I wish I learned at school was either how to manage money or what to do with my money. Because in school they teach you these things about business. You're getting taught by teachers who are just teachers. They're just that. They're not people who have been and done business. They're not people who have created their own business, lived off their own back. They're people who have been employed their entire life. They've gone from school to uni to go learn about teaching a business. They go teach business, but they've never done business. So it just doesn't make sense. Why would you want to learn from someone like that when you can learn from people like not only myself and yourself who are working on business and making our own money at the age of 18, 19, but people that we're going to hopefully be able to get on the app, on the website, on LivFree. We haven't decided what we want to do in terms of platforms and those kinds of things yet. We haven't fully got it down to the nail because we're still, as we said, we're still developing it. We're still in the progress. It's only been the past 2 weeks of working on it. So yeah, we're excited to see what happens. But those people and those guests we get on, they're going to be very special, and they're going to be people that have learned from experience, not being told something by a teacher to then teach it to a student.
Spot on, spot on. Now, you mentioned how our teachers are just going off a curriculum, and I'd say they're kind of regurgitating information. Now, as much as that's helpful, and especially at school, which is a lower level of education, it's definitely helpful. But think about it at the most, logistical kind of way. If a teacher who had their own business and was making millions, why on earth would they need to teach you business?
Exactly.
You're doing business studies. Business studies is just studying statistics, markets, research. It's actually really business production, you could say, or business conception, or anything like that. It's very, very researchy. Now, as much as it's helpful, I guess we could say that LivFree is here to make that even better. And we don't want to necessarily bash on the education system, especially because for multiple reasons, right? The educational system is helping us have LivFree. So that's the reason why we have this company, right? So it's not a bad thing, the educational system. The traditional education system, although it's arguably outdated, we want to do it better. And
100%.
And I don't want to bash on that educational system because it definitely has its purpose. But I think that for us, we have chosen quite an unconventional route, right? Liam and I both stopped school before most people, but I'd say that we're both relatively smart people outside of that, and we want to make our own version of that. Now, Liam, tell me what you think you're most looking forward to when it comes to LivFree. When it comes to building even the company, are you looking forward to the documenting? Are you looking forward to the business? What's really there for you to indulge in?
I think the big thing for me is just showing people that we're two young entrepreneurs, 18, 19, developing a business, developing what we would have wanted to learn growing up. So children, parents, whoever it is, what they wanted to learn and what some people still don't know, even to this day, that are adults in their 40s, 50s, of how to buy a house, what a mortgage is. Some people don't know, like how to run your bank accounts, accounting, all those kind of things. Some people just still don't know to this day, and they're in their 50s, 60s. They don't know the basic things, and they're so-called basic as well. But at the end of the day, they don't know them. So I'm excited to just kind of open that world up, open the door to the people that don't know those things, because I've been lucky enough to research them, see them, speak to people about these topics, and understand it myself early on, of me being only 18. So for me to be able to show other people that and open it up and open their eyes, hopefully before I even seen it in my time. So things about that I'm still learning, and hopefully we can get on guests that are be able to teach me things, and hopefully able to allow me to learn even more. It's going to be something very special, and to document from where we are today to where we will be in 2 to 5 years' time is going to be special as well. What about you, Nick?
I think that's very, very true. So what I think is interesting is that we want to get people on to this platform to educate us, even, because it's at the end of the day, right? We don't even know the things, right? We want to learn. We're not, financial experts. We're not investment experts. We're not real estate experts. We don't know, as much as the next guy. So it's kind of through our admission that we're saying, I'm ignorant here. I want to learn more. That we're now creating a platform so that people can educate us, even. If no one else wants to use LivFree, well, guess what? I guarantee you, Liam and I are going to be the number one consumers of it, because we want this information. And we've just found a market where there isn't much information there, and we think we can capitalize on it because we're two very, very ambitious young entrepreneurs. And I think that people can get behind us, not just because we've got this podcast, not just because we're documenting LivFree, but I think that Liam and I have something, if it's not just our experiences that make us special, which I hope it isn't, I'd say that characteristically, I think that we've got something to offer to the world, and I think that this is going to be a big thing for us. So Liam, what are you going to be sharing in your day-to-day life for LivFree Diaries?
Sorry, I'm just marking a bit because I think the guy I'm saying is back. So if I don't speak, that is why. All right, give me 2 seconds. Okay. So what I'm documenting in my LivFree Diaries is going to be my day-to-day life. It's going to be me learning, because I think learning is such an important aspect that a lot of younger people don't want to do. They want it here and now. They want to get rich quick. They want to do drop shipping. They want to start up an agency. They want to make money in the first week. They want to make millions in the first week. They see these people on Instagram. Let's be real, it's not going to happen. Anything you see on Instagram, you look at these people like Iman Gadji, you look at these people like Andrew Tate. They might have loads of money. They might be influential. They might be controversial at the same time. But they didn't get it over the space of 1 week. They took years and years to even build up their controversy of who they are today. Some people might like them, some people might not, but at the end of the day, they're still on your screen, they're still famous, and they're still in a load of money. They still have a load of money. So for me, it's documenting side of it and kind of understanding what we are able to produce out of it.
Yeah, and you make an interesting point there, because I think that in the current state of, you could say, people our age almost, where they want money quick, they want that thing that's going to take them from $0 a month to $100 million a month, like they want that. And I think that LivFree Diaries could be a really cool example of how that's not the reality. Now, you know what, Liam, if we make that happen and we go from 0 to $100 million a month, then maybe we got, we cracked the code. Maybe we got really lucky. But I have a slight I have a slight feeling that that's not going to be the case. And I probably would imagine in 6 months' time, Liam and I will be saying, look at all this work that we've done, but we won't have the results to back it up. And also, it should be that way. It shouldn't be that in 6 months' time, Liam and I have millions of dollars in our pockets. Now, maybe we've got other ways of doing it, but we've only just started LivFree. So there's no way that we're actually going to have millions of dollars in our pockets in 6 months' time. So we're not going to be saying, this is what you have to do. This is what's going to make you $1 million. You're just going to be watching us on our journey to actually figuring out how we're going to make LivFree a company. And for me, it's about that education. Even our educational series of LivFree Diaries could serve as a great platform for LivFree in the business model of educating people outside of school. And I think that's actually going to be a really cool thing. And I think, Liam, what do you think about this? In the future, do you think that you could be a LivFree host?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have to grow, obviously, my following, my learning, and the things I'm teaching. But I think for sure in the future, I think 100% I could be teaching on not only, depending on where the free goes, just teaching what I've done with my Instagram, and where I've gone with that, but also yourself and I could both go on there of how to kind of grow a successful business in that sense as well.
I think that would be a big goal for the both of us, right? Try to get on our own platform that we created, because we're going to be punching above our weight with the guests that we get on. So it'd be pretty cool for it to come full circle and for us to be on our own platform. I think that would be really cool. Now, Lee, tell me what the plan is now, going outside of LivFree a little bit. Tell me what your plan is for your Instagram. How do you want to use your Instagram for the next few months? What do you kind of see happening there?
So for my Instagram, it's a bit of a different one. It's going to be used to document my football journey, as I've always been doing. More of a personal kind of journey now, in the aspect of documenting real week to week what I'm doing, and week to week action of how my games went, how I was feeling, how I trained, how I played, what I was eating, what I did for my food shopping, those kind of things. And obviously I have started at the second page with my Instagram called Professional Food. So that's more directed towards my food in that aspect. So I will just be posting specifically food content there. So you'll see the Professional Food has all my recipes I'm eating, healthy recipes that you can learn from. And they're just really any type of recipes that you might find naturally eating or just enjoying my food. Like I like to cook healthy meals that still taste good. So if you want to check that out, make sure you do. But yeah, I kind of separated the two this year just because I felt that one, it would give me the chance to grow a second page, but the main reason would be that it would allow me to separate the two types of content and have two different types of audiences. So I'd have one type of audience that would be able to follow my football account, the professional diary, see what I'm doing, my motivation. They not only don't have to follow it for just football, but they can follow it for my mindset and those kind of things. And then the food one is obviously specifically food content, just for those foodies that love recipes or they like to watch food content, cooking, meal prep, healthy recipes, those kind of things. That is on the Professional Food. And that's where I'm going to be going with that in terms of content. It's a point for me at the moment, I'll be honest, like coming with ideas and content strategies of what I want to put out, making sure it's not only relevant to me and in line with my values, but the video perform well, because I don't want to waste time putting videos out and waste my time editing videos or content when it doesn't perform well. So I want to make sure that I'm getting good content out there to you guys, but also make sure they perform well, because I know how to put content out and make it get millions of views, but does that content have any value behind it? Does it provide any actual information behind it, like we're going to do at LivFree? No, it doesn't. They're more motivational 4 or 5 second videos. They're just a bit of a dopamine hit. They're not anything sustainable and valuable for you to watch. So I know how to put those videos out. I've put them out in the past, and yes, they do well. They get like millions of likes as well, and like some of them have got over like 5-10 million views. But are they fun for me to make? Not really. They're just another piece of content, and that's why I like to make sure it's valuable. And I've been trying to stick on that path. What do you think about my Instagram and the way I should go, Nick?
Well, I wouldn't say I can give advice on where to go, but I do want to kind of ask you a little bit more about the Instagram stuff. So I've got two immediate questions, and I'm sure I'll follow up with a few more. But the first two things that I'll kind of ask you is, firstly, why is it that you want to create the second channel, the second Instagram page? And then the other question that I have is, what do you get from Instagram? What's the reason why you started the Instagram? Why do you keep investing your time in? Sorry, why do you keep investing your time into that?
So I was just adding a clip so you can edit that little bit. So what was the first question?
So the why did you start the second page, and then the second?
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah. So the reason behind starting the second page was mainly down to the fact that I'd be able to have those two different audiences, because when I was posting for content on my football channel, although I grew them both, the professional diary was food and football and sports in general, you do get two different audiences, and you seem to see the food videos perform worse, really, because a lot of them, probably say 80%, is a heavy football and sports specific audience that are invested in the food, but they're not specifically there for food content. So with the Instagram algorithm, it's pushes it to your followers first. So let's say I have 200k on my professional diary, which I do. If I post a video, it's going to push it to those 200,000 followers first. And with that comes obviously the video. If I have a football video and if I have a food video, let's say I post a football video, that's going to get pushed to 200,000 people. That means that 80% of those 200,000 people that like the football content will engage with that, and that will help it perform better. Whereas if I'm posting a food video on there and it's only 20% engagement of my followers that are really there, they're going to like, engage, comment, and actually enjoy the content. Obviously, you will have the football people that may like it or view it or whatever, but it won't be as heavy as an engagement. So with that, it would be this food video not performing as well because of the heavy football side of the content. Does that make sense? Or do you want me to kind of explain that a little bit more? Was that a good enough explanation?
Yeah, that does make sense. You kind of want to differentiate it because you see mixed results. Like you might get, a million views for a football post and then get 20,000 views for a food post. Is that right?
Yeah. So that's exactly right. So that's with the second page. Then I was able to create. It's only got like 1.5k at the moment. I've only been doing it for past like a month and a half, 2 months. But I'm trying not to promote it on my professional diary because I don't want to skew kind of the results of the videos and those kind of things. I want to make sure it's more natural in that aspect. So I'm leaving it to kind of grow naturally. I do a collab post here and there, but yeah, more natural than anything growth. So with that then comes obviously a slower view count, the slower follower growth, but yeah, a new audience as well. And that audience is specifically there for the food. They want to see the food content. They will really more like and engage with it and able to see me more as a food person rather than a football person. So then I have those two different audiences and I'm able to create that content out of the both audiences. Helps to bring in other revenue streams as well. So one can be specifically for food. So I can have the food content on one, food brands, the food influencers, like that can be my food one, and the other one can be obviously sports, business, those kind of things.
Right. Okay. Now the second question was, why do you think what's the return on investment for you with Instagram?
So Instagram is a funny one because I never really started on TikTok. I post on TikTok, but I've never really gone into TikTok and learned the algorithm as I have with Instagram. Instagram, I feel like, is a more well-rounded service and platform because you're able to post content on there that you can repurpose to all different platforms. Obviously, you can do that with YouTube as well. But I feel like Instagram, if you look at profiles on TikTok compared to Instagram, you're going to rely more and feel more invested in an Instagram profile or an Instagram influencer than you are on TikTok. Look, TikTok, you can get a few million views on a few different videos a lot easier. Whereas Instagram, it takes a lot of more of an effort to grow. So me growing on Instagram naturally first, and then switching over to TikTok, which I did, just repurposing the content onto TikTok. That was an easier way for me to kind of grow and see performance in my videos, because I didn't get to the TikTok trend early. I still can learn with that. I can still understand, and that's what I'm doing each day. I'm trying to analyze different hooks of videos, trying to understand the way creators are creating their videos with TikTok, because TikTok, as I said, it's an easy way to grow. I'd probably say maybe potentially start out, to people who do want to start out, go the TikTok route. But for me, I like the Instagram route because it creates more of an authentic community feeling with the followers. They do kind of engage with content a bit more, and to have followers. So let's say 200,000 followers on Instagram compared to TikTok. If you look at that, Nick, what would you think is a better option? You would think Instagram, right?
Yeah, I'd go Instagram as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So Instagram for me was the whole well-rounded option. Then I obviously have my YouTube and stuff, which I'm now posting on again. I stopped for a while, but I'm posting on again. Just had a video released yesterday. So yeah, I'm trying to smash some content out of there as well with shorts and stuff. So just trying to stay posting on all round with all the content.
Yeah. Okay. Now, when it comes to the direct return on investment, obviously you've got brand deals. Obviously it brings in a source of income for you. But what does it do outside of that? Obviously, you'd know, most of my listeners should know at least, that LinkedIn is a massive thing for me. I would say that I get a really big return on my investment for LinkedIn. What would you say that equivalent? What's that equivalent for you on Instagram?
The return on investment for my Instagram and my TikTok is different between the two platforms as well. So TikTok, you get people seeing you, but don't really engage too much because you don't have the DMs feature as much. You can't really see too many DMs. I do get DMs on there, but I don't really read it because I only go on there to post. So for Instagram specifically, I'd say the people you're able to reach out to and see, especially if you have a verified tick as well on Instagram, it does help reach out to other people or brands specifically. Having brand connection on Instagram. So for me, I get a lot of my brand deals specifically inbound. So people inbounding me to do brand partnerships, whereas I do some outbound stuff, but a lot of my stuff that I do with brands and work with brands is them coming to me, emailing me specifically, rather than me emailing them and saying I want to work with you and just doing it out for the sake of money. Like, they're actually specifically brands I want to work with that reached out, because I get a load of brands like saying they want to give me a free product or they want to give me this, and I can promote it on my video or stories or whatever. But I'm not just promoting any brands just for the sake of using a product or whatever. I want to make sure it's authentic and engaging. So I think the return on investment in that aspect would be working with brands I actually want to, because TikTok as well, you have TikTok Shop and those kinds of things, and creators are just pumping out content with random products on TikTok Shop because they want to make some money quickly. So that's the complete difference between TikTok and Instagram for me with my return on investment. But going into kind of your, not only past few weeks, Nick, but like what you're doing with yourself now, with your LinkedIn, with your business side, and honestly just everything in your life. What's been going on for you, really?
Yeah, so there's been a big change. Now, I don't want to explicitly say it yet, just because I have to do a few things before I reveal it to the general public, of which not many probably would care too much about. But in the course of my life, it's a big change. But I guess you could root this a little way back to a few months ago. But without giving it completely away, talking a little bit more about the business side. Now, as Lee was alluding to, obviously LinkedIn has always been a massive thing for me. It's helped me get to every single football team that I played for. It's helped me grow, connect with amazing people. Now, what I've got coming up in the coming days is, well, even the past few weeks, I've been doing a lot of interviews for the SCULPTED app, getting the right developer to code the app. That's a massive thing. So the app is almost ready to be in the App Store after it's developed, which takes 1 to 2 months. But expect to see that in anywhere from 2 months to 3 months time. Of course, we need to finalize contracts with developers and everything. But I am really, really privileged to have the CTO of the A League as an advisor for the Sculpted app, who is an amazing guy, is extremely helpful, very gracious with his time, very wise. His name is William Cowell, and to have him as an advisor for the Sculpted app is truly, it's crazy because I'm learning so much from it. He's teaching me so much, and I think that's a massive step forward for the Sculpted app. And that's a big thing, right? So the Sculpted app being a big thing, Sculpted podcast being a big thing. I'm very thankful that Liam's joined the team because, as you know, we're working together so closely now. It makes it easier when we're the same time zone, and LivFree is, you know, something that we're putting our mind towards both, and it's going to be a big thing there. So kind of replicating the lessons that I've learned from the Sculpted app, I want to do with Liam in LivFree. We want to get as many people in the team as quickly as possible, get that MVP for the software into people's computers and get them using it, because that's how we're going to make it work. You know, we want to get those people involved from day one, and that's that big project there. So I guess that's kind of where I'm at, either side and everything that I'm working on at the moment. Does that give a good enough overview, Liam?
Yeah, in terms of your LinkedIn, then where do you find? Obviously, you've been doing it for some time now. How many years have you been doing it for LinkedIn? Yeah, so you've been doing it for 6 years. Have you found if you obviously it'd be different if you're doing different social platforms, because LinkedIn's a whole different ballgame. It's specifically focused directly towards business. But do you find that you're able to connect with a load of people and find that balance between the return on you spend time on it compared to the investment that you get back?
Yeah, I would actually say that the time that I spend on LinkedIn is heavily outweighed by the return I get back from it. What I mean by that is I maybe spend 30 minutes a day on LinkedIn, but I would say that if there was a way to quantify how much time I save by getting on people on my side, even connecting, the whole way that I can, you don't even know the story how I connected with your brother, Liam, but it was through LinkedIn. It's how I connected with, like, there's so many things that have changed the direction of my life that are arguably unquantifiably measured. But the amount of time that I spend per day on it, it's severely outweighing, the investment that I give. So I'd say, yeah, it's now maybe that's situational as well. Maybe if someone else was to do a similar thing on LinkedIn, maybe they wouldn't get as high of a return as I do, and that's the exact same for you on Instagram. Like, if I was to create my own Instagram account and you spend an hour a day on Instagram, if I spent 2 hours a day on Instagram, I would get nowhere near as many, brand deals. I'd get nowhere as much as engagement, and that's because I've just started. And that's kind of what we can, I guess we can continue to talk about is, don't stop, just start. This is something that Val and I spoke about quite a bit in previous episodes, is just talking about just start it and don't stop. I think that's kind of a good kind of thing to talk about. What do you think, Lane?
I think that's a motto in my life is I don't want to stop things. I don't want to switch between things and keep going. Yes, in the business world, you have to be able to adapt and change what you're doing in that aspect of going and seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, trying a business, failing and starting a new one. But when it comes to sticking to your word and those kind of things is a big thing for me, because as I said with Nick, I don't want this to be a thing where we just stop over 6 months time. I want it to be something that we continue with. But I think going back to your LinkedIn thing quickly, sorry. I think your LinkedIn thing's special, where in 3 to 5 years time, when you've got your business side going, you're going to have all those connections on LinkedIn. You're going to be able to reach out to all those different people, say, here's what I'm doing, love you to be involved, or would love you to buy a ticket to what I'm doing, or just have a look at what I'm doing. So I think what you're doing there is going to be very useful for yourself in the next few years to come.
Yeah, well, even seeing that direct return on investment now, I think that it's quite profound to see the amount of people who I can reach out to when they reply. I don't want to name drop any people who I'm connected with, but there's some pretty...
You can go look if you want.
Bro, you would not even You would not even believe me. There's one person specifically who I'm not necessarily a massive fan of, but in this ecosphere of social media, you could say a co-owner of Prime, the drink. I've connected with one of them. You do the maths. I'm not going to give you much more, but you've got a 50-50 chance of being right. And the fact that I'm able to connect with those people on LinkedIn, it's pretty crazy, right? Because I've got more followers than him on LinkedIn. Therefore, put me in a 1v1 against him and me in LinkedIn. Well, I'm cooler. So how about that?
Just to let you guys know, it's Mr. Beast. What?
Yeah. No, I didn't say it. I never said anything, and you never said anything. But there are some pretty amazing people. There's another one who I was really, really impressed with. Who, to be fair, he's not the biggest. Like I have a lot of professional footballers. But there was one that was really cool, and his name is Lawrence McKenna. And he is the producer of a lot of big podcasts in the UK. Maybe you know him, Liam. I'm not sure if you do, but he's actually the producer of...
Yeah, why have I heard of his name?
Yeah, he used to be on the True Geordie podcast as a co-host. And
that's potentially where, maybe.
Yeah, and he now is the producer of Philly Enchanters podcast. So I connected with him on LinkedIn, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to just send him a message. He replied. He said, nice to meet you, mate. And yeah, that's a cool thing that I can do through LinkedIn. And you know, if I become influential,
and then he said, "Don't message me ever again."
Yeah, don't message me ever again.
No, the LinkedIn connection's on another level. I like LinkedIn. We're going to be working on my LinkedIn very soon over the next few days because Nick and I need to get on that. I need to start working on my connections on there. Get on Nick's level, 20k followers, 22k followers.
But I think that's going to be, it could be a really cool thing for you because I think that something that a lot of people struggle with on social media is actually transitioning, you could say, their following from one app to another and replicating that.
Yeah, cross-platform, yeah.
Yeah, I just gave it away. He's got X amount of followers on YouTube, but that has 1/1000th of a following on LinkedIn. Like, it's difficult to build that social proof across all platforms. So I think that's something that we can definitely help.
I know he's done that well. Alex Solo did, you know.
That's very true, actually. He's got a lot of followers on LinkedIn and every other.
He's heavily promoted it through his podcast as well.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Do you think that's because they go on so many different types of platforms? Because podcasting is so transferable on every single platform.
Yeah, and I think something he said was when I was at the podcast, because he mentioned it in like a little short. Oh, hey guys, if you want to follow me, make sure you check out our LinkedIn. I've just started on there. It's where I'm posting all my business content, and you can engage with me on there, and I'll connect with you. I think the connect word sounds a lot better than go follow me on a platform.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you do feel more of a connection with them. So I think that's where the LinkedIn it's a different ball game. It's completely different. Well, I'd connect with anyone on LinkedIn to be fair.
100%. How do you spell his last name again?
Hormozi, Hormozi.
Damn it, he hasn't accepted my request yet. Damn, that would have been cool. He's got 7 mutual friends. Oh, damn. Okay, I actually know some of them. There's someone. Oh, bro. Okay, sorry. We've got mutuals. I've been on a call with some of his mutual connections. That could definitely be a pretty cool one. But what else?
I think Hormozi on the pod.
Yeah, bro, that would
sick.
That would be amazing. I think that this is where you would come in, where your LinkedIn profile could really complement, right? Because you've got the Instagram following. If someone sees that you've got a following on Instagram of 200,000 followers plus, and then you've got your LinkedIn account with X amount of followers, but your LinkedIn would be better than mine.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I'm getting 22k yet. But what's it? Might take me 5 years, like you.
We'll see. I think that this is definitely a uncharted territory. So I think we definitely got to get that working. Now let's kind of switch the tone a little bit. Unless you had anything that you want to talk about before we did. Did you want to talk about anything else?
No, I don't. I want to talk about. I mean, a little update moving into my place tonight, my own place. So yeah. That's that. But yeah. But so the new next episode will be in there. So we'll see that. But yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a very, very important step of living by yourself, and not an easy one either. I struggled with moving into an apartment. So yeah, the logistics of moving into a house by yourself, it's not easy. And it's a big thing to even get the ability to move into a house. One, financially. Two, logistically, I think it's the toughest thing. Like, Liam, how are you going to get all of your stuff into the next house?
I'm not too sure. The lady said she might be able to pick me up, obviously. So yeah, I'm not sure at the moment. But yeah, I'll see what happens there.
Do you know what I have to do? I've done it on so many occasions, and it's so painful. Guess what I have to do?
Get on a bus.
Brother, I'd have to pack up 2 suitcases, 2 duffel bags, and 1 backpack. I then went from one side of Germany to the other and moved. Oh, I do that often. Like, I was traveling, bro. I was staying in hotels, and I was just hotel hopping.
Yeah,
I've got youth hostel hopping. It was so difficult. And then when I finally settled down, it got a bit easier. But I still was hopping around. And then after I moved to Budapest, that was so tough. And then I moved quickly from Budapest back to Australia. And that was the worst, because then I had collected all of these different things from the 2 years that I'd spent in Germany and then had to send them all back to Australia. That was so difficult. I had to send back so much stuff. It arrived a month later, and it's logistically a nightmare. You're going to have to figure out a better way to do it. But you don't have much luggage, do you?
Yeah, I've only got like 1 big case, a small case, and then like 2 bags, so it should be all right. I mean, we'll see what happens with it. So yeah, I don't know. Should be fine. Should be okay. Should be all good.
That's tough. That is very tough. Okay, let's go on to the topic on REDDIT, because it's embarrassing that I'm actually on this website, but it's fine. Now.
Oh, right.
What?
I took me over there. Yeah. What was embarrassing about that?
Okay. What is quote unquote vice, and why should it be avoided? Now, I've got a few comments here. Now, firstly, Liam, what would you say?
What?
A vice, like a thing that's like almost like a guilty pleasure. What would you say a vice is, or a coping strategy? Actually, what's a vice for you, if you've even got one?
I don't know. I don't really have one. Maybe work. I push myself into work a lot, and just pump out work and content and just get on with it. Maybe that's one. Another one maybe could be food, like cooking. Can you class that as one? That's a better one to me. Like, I'd like to cook, so maybe that's a better one. Like, I enjoy meals out. Like, so yeah, for me that's a good one where you take your mind off of things. You just enjoy the food. I mean, some people hate cooking. I know my sister. She says by the time she makes the meal, she doesn't want to eat it. She says she's sick of it. So yeah, I think they're probably my main ones. I mean, you know me, I'm busy with my work, and I go training, gym, and then routine stays pretty similar. But what about you? What's your vibe?
Well, firstly, bro, I think that's actually a very, very well answered question. That's I put you on the spot there, but I think you answered that really well, because most people have degenerate vices. And what I mean by that is, quite often a vice takes away from someone. Well, I'd say that your vices, although they may be used to take your mind off something, they actually are positive, and you've turned them into a positive vice. Now, I have very similar vices to yourself. I wouldn't say that I have any explicit negative things, although I could say that on a Sunday, that could be a form of a vice, but I also think that helps me be more productive. So,
yeah, I don't think that's really a vice too much. I think it's more a way for you to focus the next week.
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing is that Liam and I think that we're pretty plugged out of the world. Like, maybe you're a bit more plugged in than I am because you've built the social media, but I don't go on social media on most days. I literally only have social media on my MacBook, and then I have a ton on everything else on my phone. So I don't really go on social media. So I don't really know what's happening. So to help me catch up, I go on, TikTok and whatnot, see what the kids are saying, see how they talk. That makes me sound old.
No, I think for me, I'm on it because I'm posting. But if I wasn't posting, I don't think I'd have social media at all. I mean, it's a tough one though, because you say it in hindsight, but like at the end of the day, social media has helped me promote different businesses and make my money as well. So yeah, it's a tough one.
It's been a very.
I'm sorry, yeah, going to your point. Sorry.
Yeah, so I would say that working is probably one, although I think that it's a positive thing. And I think it's like you, right? Your vices aren't necessarily like degrading anything. But I would say the biggest one for me was probably trading. But I also don't think that was necessarily a vice. I guess it was more of a, I just had to do it. And that just made me feel so much better. And I think that it's a very, very positive thing, you know?
The I think with trading it can be either way, just how you manage it, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I definitely use trading as a vice in terms of overeating as well when I was younger. We've spoken about it individually before with eating disorders and whatnot. So I used to over-exercise heaps. And so, like, if I, like, overate, or if I, like, ate a marshmallow, I'd like, oh, well, I guess that's 5 kilometers around the block. And that was probably a kind of a vice for me. Did you ever have any moments like that?
Yeah, I did actually. I wasn't really over exercise. It was more the other way, just like the eating habits rather than exercising habits. I mean, one day I remember on Christmas Day, 2019, I ran a 10K
Yeah, I've done the exact same thing.
on Christmas Day. Because I was like, I got a lot of food here, so yeah, need to run a 10K. But it was an enjoyable 10K. I did it pretty quick as well. I think I did it
That's what I'm saying.
40 something minutes, I know.
Yeah,
I think it was like 45 minutes, 10K. Like, it wasn't bad.
that's a good pace. That's a good pace. I did it right.
I know.
Although I was far behind my average. I try and do 7 kilometers in under 30 minutes, and today I was at 30 minutes and 30 seconds for my normal 7 kilometers. So not the best, but
Perfect. Yeah.
bro, I see you were running and you are pacey. I'm a goalkeeper, so I think I've got like a maybe 30-second delay excuse, but I've seen your runs. You run at like a 3:58, is it?
Yeah, I was running a 340 something. I think it was a 343, 345 in preseason of this year. But yeah, it was like because I was really fit going to preseason of this year. That's what I'm trying to get my fitness levels back to at the moment. Just so I'm fit, going to every game. I wanted to do this morning, but I couldn't because my knee, so I needed to adjust my training. But yeah, I think fitness for me is it's a big part of my game. I need to make sure I'm staying on top of that. Like you need to make sure you stay on top of all your strength. So yeah,
that's really impressive, Brad. Really impressive getting that fast. I think the fastest I've been at for a consistent pace was around 4:11. But in saying that, I've always been the fittest in my team. It's okay, but I'm a big guy, so it's a bit tough for me. But I guess you probably are also, you're pretty similar stature to me. You're just a lot leaner. But actually, my resting heart rate, that's about one I babe. I used to during
crazy and more.
Yeah, bro, my resting heart rate 34 was the lowest that I had it for about a month consistently. I got under 40 BPM last night. For the first time
I've had a low one.
Yeah, you tell us yours.
Mine was between 22 to 26.
Yeah, so Liam, this is where you would probably be in a coffin, my friend.
Bro, literally, this is I was like 0.0% body fat, like peak dieting, like didn't feel good hormonally, didn't feel good at all. This was back like ages. This was 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, like I was really like I lost a lot of muscle dieting and skinny and just like low body fat. But like because I was cold as well, I was really fit. Like don't get me wrong, my fitness was on another level as well. But because I was cold as well, since my body fat was low, I think the cold slowed my heart rate down. But then also I was really fit as well. So yeah, like the doctors checked it and they're like, your heart rate shouldn't be that low. But it was like I went and got tests as well at the hospital and stuff, and they said nothing was wrong, and like I was fine. I think it was just a mixture of like low body fat, craving, and
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it was a crazy one. But 40s is good. Like 30, 40s is good for normal. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, crazy. Okay, bro, that's unreal. Okay, going into and
What's your other advice?
yeah. Wait, before we go into that, we need to make a disclaimer. If anyone wants to get their heart rate that low, it's actually not healthy. Just so you guys know.
Do not do that.
So,
Do not do
yeah.
that. Please don't.
Although it may seem cool and it very is much, it's not cool because what's even worse than that is dying, and you probably don't want to do that. So yeah, don't try that one.
No, you don't. Probably not. You don't want to. So,
Oh yeah, because you only get like one shot at it. I think you can't take it back. So yeah, maybe don't do that one.
shut up, Dick.
All right. So we talked about training and working. Those are typical vices. But I think that our common theme for us with vices and being as honest as possible, to be fair, is probably the food, the training, the work. And I think that those are pretty positive. But let's see what the other people are saying. And I don't want to hold us back for too much longer. But looking at what some other people are saying. So a typical one I see for a lot of people is alcohol. And I'll quote this: alcohol becomes a vice when it becomes harmful. The Stoics don't advocate for abstaining from alcohol, and I could even see them claiming that abstaining is hiding from the temptation when you should instead foster the willpower to resist it. Do you specifically, Liam, do anything that the word that they use is, oh yeah, do you do anything that you abstain from? So you've never drunk alcohol in your life potentially, or you've never done X, Y, Z. Do you have anything that you completely have abstained from in your life?
Drugs, alcohol, clubs, parties in a way, but I've never really been to parties. Well, I did almost go to a club when I was in Denmark. So that's a whole different story. We can go into that. I was outside about to walk in, and then I got rejected because of my shoes. I knew in my mind when I was going because I didn't want to go anyway. And then I was wearing the wrong shoes, and luckily the bouncer rejected me. And my friend's like, "Oh, I'll go home, like go to the hotel, change your shoes, and come back." And I was like, "Yeah." Text, and I was like, "No, I'm not coming back." Instead, I didn't want to go in the first place. I was going because someone asked me to, but yeah, it's that. What else? I mean, nothing else really. I mean, what else is there?
There's a few things, but not for this type of podcast thing. There's a few things that I wouldn't.
Yeah,
and
I know what you do.
Yeah, your brother might have told you some crazy things. I'd say I'm an extremist when it comes to making.
Yeah, I was actually joking. He did tell me on that one.
Yeah, okay. Because I remember when I called him when I had the surgery, he was like, "Is it because of that?" And I'm like, "Quite possibly." But yeah, that's an off-camera thing. If you want to ask me about what that is, then you got my.
Please don't. Let's move on to the next.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next Reddit on Nick.
Yeah, that's great. So let's look at what's next. So, a vice. I saw someone talk about how vices aren't necessarily immoral or wicked. So vice is harm. Immoral or wicked behavior doesn't describe vices like drinking alcohol. You avoid harm because it's harmful. Now, what you kind of said there is how those things, you see them as being harmful. And if you were to indulge in them, you'd have maybe a tough time controlling yourself, or you just don't. You're not about that lifestyle. Now, I'll give you an example for a few things that I've abstained from because I don't want to ever be tempted by it. Like for alcohol, I know that even the return that you get back from taking one sip is going to be negative, because the experience, people say that they're social drinkers and they drink because it makes the time better. Even me risking, overdoing it one time, and the consequence of that, I don't feel like it's worth even taking a sip of alcohol. Do you have the same attitude towards that, Liam, or similar?
Yeah, I mean, I have my own personal reason behind it, but that as well. Yeah, I just don't find. I don't see the benefits of it. There's no benefit. There's no actual positive thing that comes out of it. So for me, I don't really see any benefits out of it. But I mean, we all have our own personal reasons. Like you have your own personal reasons behind other biases as well. I think touching on that kind of last topic for this, like and the overall thing we can end on would be money, like a money vice. What do you think of that?
You're talking about expenditure.
We can go down that route.
What were you talking about?
Just like the drive for it to get it.
Okay, yeah, I see that. Okay, I'd say that for me, if I'm being as transparent as possible, I do think that money is important. I want to kind of say shift my narrative towards it. But I have a very close ally. There you go, Lane. I love that word. Who I talk about on a very deep level sometimes, and we meet up on a Sunday and we talk about these things. And I was speaking about it today with him, and I think that the beliefs that I have will restrict me from chasing money. I think that money can be inherently evil sometimes, and I don't want to explicitly chase it.
So to butt in, then what are you doing? I don't know, it might be personally, I don't want to share it, but what's your why as to your drive for business, money, success, whatever it is?
Bro, I had this chat with my boy this morning. It's deep. And there probably are a few hypocrisies in it that I need to iron out.
Yeah, but don't share what you don't want to. But yeah,
No, I'll share this because I've said it in the previous episode before. But I say like this: I wake up every single day thinking and believing that I have a duty to become the best version of myself. I feel like God put us on this earth not to just relax and put our feet up. I feel like you, Liam Miller.
I did a disclaimer for the people that don't know as well is Nick is Christian, so God as well is a part of his life. But the people that don't know.
Yes, like that one. So I feel like I have a duty to do and become the best version of myself. Now, does money help me do that? Yes, because if I was to try and do that every single day and I was just, sleeping on the streets, then I don't really have the influence that I want to help others to do the same. Therefore, to a degree, in the modern world that we live in, I think that I have to chase money to a certain degree for me to be able to share my message or my values with others. So I think that my overall message is constructive. It may not be for you, but I think it's an overall constructive message. Therefore, I wake up every single day thinking that I need to do what it takes to become the best version of myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
What about you?
For me, I mean, it's a tough one because for me, my big goal, I feel like, is to buy on the house of their dreams. I've said that before. And I think once I achieve that, money isn't a big factor for me. It's not a big driving factor. It then becomes other things outside of it, like goals I set for myself and things I want to achieve. I think money's a driver at that point till I reach that goal. But once I reach that goal, I still have other things that drive me. But I think for my goals at the moment, I kind of separate the two. So I have goals that drive me in one aspect, but then that goal as well drives me in the money aspect. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay. I actually like the way that you separate them. That's definitely something for me to think about now that you said that.
Because I feel like once I achieve that, once I achieve that one, then it's like I've reached the limit of what I wanted there, and now like, I obviously have enough. I have enough to afford that, so I have enough for a comfortable life. So it's like, no, I don't want to stay comfortable. I don't want to sit in one place, but I can go towards my goals and not worry about that, not have that in my mind.
That's a really good point, actually. You know what? I think that we could probably make an episode about.
Yeah, I think that's next episode. Let's do that, actually.
All right, brilliant. Well, do you want to wrap it up there?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna head off to the gym anyway, get a nice little workout on.
Yeah. All right. Easy. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Make sure you go subscribe down below. Also, leave a comment if you want. Give us some feedback. Go follow Liam on Instagram and his professional food. Make sure you
Most importantly, yeah, go follow the free diary.
And Liam, you finish it off.
Yeah, go follow LivFree Diaries on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. It's just LIV3 Diaries. Diaries being DIARIES. IES. That is where we're going to be posting over the next weeks of our content that we're producing, not only on the Sculpted podcast, little snippets, but also content of our work, business, those kind of things. So it's completely separate from what we're doing in our sports life, but that is going to be specifically focused on developing our LivFree platform, e-learning platform for you to learn what you didn't learn and what you wish you did know. So that is going to be this episode. As we said, make sure you leave thumbs up, subscribe, and make sure you stick around for the next topic that we just spoke about, because that one's going to be a special one. So see you guys in the next one, and peace out.